Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. It is a warm one here in Ontario. Let me tell you that right now. Happy Tuesday. We are somewhere up around the 30-degree mark, I think, with humidity today. So it's a little warm and moist here in Ontario. For those of you that are in Canada, I hope you had a good, safe, long weekend, Victoria Day weekend. Hey. The unofficial start to summer. Actually, that's a good thing to bring up. Out of curiosity, if you're from Canada, go ahead, drop a hashtag Canada down below. And if you're from somewhere else, drop a hashtag USA or Australia or wherever it is you're from, so I get an idea of the kind of environment we have here, the kind of people we got. And as always, if you're here watching us live, hashtag live. If you're on the replay, hashtag team replay. Just helps get the algorithm, the views up. Let Facebook know that we're doing is important, really matters. Today, we're talking about something that a lot of us overlook and a lot of us feel we're too good for. Split testing. It's the simplest thing, and all too often we overlook it and we just can't be bothered. So, without wasting much more of your time, let's get into it, shall we then? Share my screen here. So, what is split testing? Should you be doing it? The answer is yes, and yes, and yes, it's important. So, what is it? Short answer. Basically, you create two versions of an ad or sales page with slight differences to see which performs better. Now, it could be simple things. You're just tiny little tweaks, maybe the font, maybe the positioning of something, and you put them out there in the world and you let the data tell you which one's your good one. Even the smallest, most insignificant change can mean the difference in generating increased conversions. Now, what that means is something as simple as a phrase worded the wrong way or worded the right way can mean the big difference between converting at 2.9% or 5.3%, say. A split test basically gives you a way to test different creative aspects of your marketing, like I mentioned. So, how exactly do we do this? What exactly does it look like, right? Let's use some headlines as an example. So let's say you have headline A, B, and C. You've put a lot of time into this. You've really worked and developed this, and you just think that these are the cat's ass and these are the bomb. And in your mind, in your opinion, these are the greatest headlines of all time. But here's the problem with that. 99% of the time, the one that you feel is like the headline, the one that you feel is going to be the absolute winner, isn't the winning piece. Too often we can't see our own flaws in our own creative processes, right? We come up with these awesome headlines and these awesome sales copies, and the problem is, as marketers, we usually get in our own way, especially when we're newer to the process and newer to marketing in general. We create these great headlines, we come up with these beautiful, amazing images and these amazing offers and push them out before testing because we think we are that good. And we don't double check them or verify them. We just put them out there. And what is it we're doing? Skipping the testing. Guys, if you're serious about your marketing, if you are serious about building your business, you've got to split test, and you have to always be testing. Whether it's words, colors, whatever, always be testing. It's going to happen time and time and time again. People are like, I don't need to test. I don't got to do it. Whatever. We're getting in our own way. Sadly, it's what we do time and time again, over and over and over. You're building a business, and there's a reason you're building this business. You want to be free. You want to have more time with your family. You want to leave the daily grind. Whatever it is, you're building this business for whatever reason. You have to take the time to do it right, which means taking the time to split test every time, guys. Every time. So let's go back to our headlines and we'll get a better look at this, right? So you've got your 3 awesome headlines, and you're thinking, man, out of A, B, and C, these are all really great, but I think C is the clear winner. C is the one for me. That's the one I'm going to use. So without split testing, you throw headline C out into the world, and you're drawing in 1.9% conversions on your first launch. Not bad, right? You're thinking, all right, this is cool. But what if that wasn't the actual winning headline? What if it was A or B, and you're actually missing out? How much are you leaving out there in the world? So over here, we split test 3 different headlines. Turns out C is the lowest performing one at 1.9%. Headline A is coming in at 2.4, but headline B is converting at 4.3%. And because you didn't split test, you just went with headline C. How much you're leaving on the table? Think about that for a minute. Imagine the conversions you're leaving on the table. Think of all the lost dollars in revenue that you're losing because you didn't take the time to split test your headlines. Guys, if this is making sense, go ahead and drop like a hashtag makes sense, just so I know that I'm not spinning in circles here. Because it happens a lot. I've done it. I don't know how many times I've done it when I was new. Just throw stuff out there, throw shit to the wind and see what happens, and hopefully it works and hopefully it doesn't. It doesn't cost me a lot of money, but I was wrong, and it cost me a lot of money because I didn't split test. I didn't stay on top of it. So when you split test, you will see, like our headlines, based on our split test, headline B is the clear winner. Headline B was performing so much better than headline C. So if we'd have started with headline, if we'd have done the test, we'd have pulled the data, and we would have had the data to verify and prove that we were wrong and we need to go with something else. Because when you split test, you get all kinds of data. You get things like the way people interact with your page. You can get all kinds of information and time spent on page, depending on how deep your data goes and how big your split test is. The possibilities are endless for the information you can gain and you can analyze. And if you're the really super analytical type, then this is your game. This is what you do. Split test, analyze the data, flip it, make it work. Take the time to understand the metrics from the data you're pulling. Learn to identify what your key point indicators are for you to make you successful. And I know sometimes this might feel like a big time waster. It's going to feel like it's a big inconvenience. And I'll be honest, that's one of the reasons why I didn't do it at first when I first started in the online world. You're wasting my time. I just need to get my stuff out there and I need to get the revenue flowing in. Another part was I didn't fully understand what split testing was, and nobody really pointed me in the right direction. So I had to sort of play with it on my own and figure it out. So that's why I did this. So hopefully you don't have to go through all that. You can be like, oh man, this is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with me. Right? Because I assure you, it is neither a time waster nor is it inconvenient when it comes to running your business at top notch. So, how do you know what to split test? Because if you're new to this, I know it's going to be hard to figure out what you got to do, how to go about it, and just where you should be testing things. First thing you got to remember, always be testing. Always be testing. Write that down, stick it on your vision board, stick it on a whiteboard, stick it on a sticky note on your laptop, wherever you got to stick it. Drill that into your head. You always have to be testing. Now, as far as what you should be testing, there's a multitude of things. And just so happens I got a few suggestions here for you. If you've got bonuses, start testing different bonuses. Test them against each other. See how they perform. Test bonus versus no bonus and see how that performs. I was reading a comment in a group somewhere else somebody was making about bonus testing. And they were wondering why their offer without a bonus converted better than their offer with the bonus. And after digging in, we all discovered that the bonus they were offering, well, it didn't really have much to do with what they were offering in the long run. So it didn't make sense, and that's why people weren't jumping on it, right? So test your bonuses, figure out what's working, what's not working. Headers versus no header. You know, sometimes just big old blank header with nothing says so much more than a header full of junk and jargon and nonsense. Here's a good one. Testimonials. Take the time to test where you put them and sometimes even the order in which you put them. Right? If you're putting in like 5 or 6 individual testimonials on your sales page, then pay attention to how you order them. And then the look of them. Sometimes test that out, right? I've tried both just like screenshotting and pasting it in there as a photo. I've also gone as far as typing in what it was they said in quotes. So it just depends on your audience and what works and what doesn't work. Another thing you can test is using different like arrows pointing towards text or buttons or important content, size, color, depth, funny cartoon arrows, serious straight arrows. Test your images more or less. Test the underlining, not underlining. The possibilities are endless, guys. Right? Your selling approach. So maybe you're someone who's very experienced in sales. You're very good at it. But for some reason, you just can't get conversions. Here's something you could try. Are you a hard, pushy seller, or are you a soft style that kind of brings them in and welcomes them? Split the difference, test them, and see what works and what doesn't work. I guarantee you, it's probably not the one you think it is. Copy. We all like to think we're great at writing stories. We all like to think we're great at creating copy. Truth is, we're just a bunch of marketers and We're here to market. We're not exactly here to write. It takes skill and takes practice. So test your copy. You want it to be directed to your best customer compared to just more generic copy. So don't be afraid to make minor adjustments in your copy throughout your sales letter, your media content. Here's a big one. Instead of going for the hard sale up front, test a trial offer versus the complete sale. See how that plays out for you. And then offer up the finished sale on the back end. That can make huge difference in your conversion sometimes, depending on how big your product is you're selling. Color scheme. Simple color change can mean the biggest difference. I was talking to someone not too long ago, and they were baffled by the fact that they had this beautiful sales page that someone had done for them, and it was great. It was nice pastel colors. It was really popped. And they still were having trouble getting conversions. So they built out a completely different one. Completely messed up the colors. Completely. It was like the ugliest thing I'd seen. I think they were like brown and yellow or something like that. And man, that thing was converting like you wouldn't believe. They shut down the big fancy one they paid for and stuck with the ugly one that they made. It's that simple sometimes. It's crazy. Try variations on product images. When I say variations, I mean like try different sizes. Try different images of your product. Try the location even of where you place those images throughout your copy. And even try and play with color in your photos, right? Maybe black and white will convert better. Maybe like a grayscale or pop a certain color in the photo, whatever it is, right? Test all those different things. So I hope this got your juices flowing, right? Because this is just some of the things that you should be thinking about when it comes to split testing. You're not going to test everything gung-ho. These are ideas to get your mind going and get you thinking about it. And if you would like, let me know down in the comments. If you'd like a checklist with like 25 to 30 different ideas for testing, drop a hashtag checklist in the comments. And this week I'll get something together and my team and I will get it sent out to you directly, or I will upload it here in the group. And that way you can have it, you can download it, and you can get split testing. But remember to keep it simple, right? KISS theory, keep it simple, stupid. Start simple, like with headlines. Don't go crazy. Don't go changing 7, 20, 30 different things at once, because then you're just wasting your time and you're not going to know. You're going to skew the data and you're not going to know. So test one thing at a time. See if it makes a difference. Then adjust and move on to the next thing. Guys, this is important. I've seen it happen before. I've done it, speaking from experience, changed like 5 things on a sales letter, and it started converting better, but I didn't know what change made that difference. So it's important to take it one step at a time. Don't rush the process, because you can't. So let's sum up this, shall we? Split testing is not complicated. Stop overthinking it. Stop overanalyzing it. Stop thinking it's some big, huge process you got to go through. You should always be testing. Always, always, always. Even if you've got something that's been out there for 2 years and you're thinking that you're fine, go back and look at it, analyze the data, tweak it a little bit. Always be testing. Start simple, start with your headlines and go from there. Those are the quickest, easiest things to change and move on with. And like I said, do not overthink the process, guys. This is super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Make it harder than it has to be for yourselves. And use the data. Don't ignore the data. Because the data is going to tell you what your ideal customer is looking for. And if you're not using the data to confirm it and you're going out with what you feel is best, what's the point? And eventually, when you get a larger following and you've been in business a while, you have good quality traffic coming on a regular basis. You can start testing daily if you've got the traffic, right? Make little tweaks daily to see how things are changing and evolving. And then you can analyze that data over a week. And see how it plays out and see how things are going. And really, I mean, why wouldn't you want to split test? It is the best way to give yourself a raise, don't you think? I mean, come on. You split test, you find out something's converting better. Well, now you're getting more conversions. So now you're making more sales. So now you're generating more revenue. So you've just given yourself a raise, right? Headline B, headline C. Headline C was 4.9% conversions. Headline B was 2.3. So you almost doubled your salary. How does that make you feel? Huh? So you're thinking you want more ideas, right? Like I said earlier, if you want, let me know. I'll whip up a free checklist. I'll throw it here under the guides, or I will send it to you directly. I don't mind. I want to help you guys as much as I can. And then also, we've just posted an article about split testing on a new blog we've got going. There's a few different articles up there. Lessons learned about building a business. Should you split test? There's a bunch of ideas and tips over there. I will drop the link to that in the comments so you can go check it out. Before I go, I want you to know, I think you guys are awesome people. I'm proud to have you as part of my community. Building an online business doesn't have to be stressful. It's going to be sometimes, but it doesn't have to be all the time. We've got this amazing community you can turn to. Reach out to me if you want. I need you to remember two very, very important things, though. Number one, you guys are awesome, and I hope you're all chasing after your dreams, because that's why we started this in the first place, isn't it? So we could go after our dreams of more time with family, more freedom, financially free of debt, whatever it is, go get it. And when you're almost there, grab it. And then when you got it, reset and go again. Number two, being successful is like a 3K marathon. It's not a 600-meter dash. You've got to be patient, and you have to use the tools you have available to you. So set yourself up for the long haul. I know I've talked about this a few times, and I keep bringing it up because it's important that you understand it's for the long haul, not no short little sprint to the finish line. That's where you will find the blog. Go ahead and you should be able to click on that. If not, don't worry about it. copy pasted, whatever you got to do. Go check out the blog. I'm going to drop it in the comments so you can go and check it out. There's also a page of resources over there that are worth looking into as well. So kids, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I am so glad that we spent this time together today. I really hope that what I'm telling you is jiving and is making sense. Split testing is something that, like I said, just people overcomplicate it. People think it's way harder than it really is, when really all you're doing is changing a couple different headlines, changing a color scheme. Like it's simple stuff, and I'm guilty of it. I know there's probably a million other people who will tell you the same thing. They're all guilty of it at one time or another. So that's all I've got for today. I hope you found a lot of value in this. Drop a hashtag value if you got value from this. And I will see you next week for the next one. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but stay tuned. It might be a doozy. Go on. Get out of here. Get back to work. I've taken enough of your time. Bye.